Hi, I'm Laura the Library Lady, and welcome to today's episode. This is the second in my series titled Special Collections for Children. Today I'm talking about a great series of books that I got, believe it or not, at a BP, British Petroleum gas station or truck stop. I have no idea when I got this. I just can imagine it happened in the 90s. I think it was the 90s because I was living in a small town in Livingston, Alabama. I was a reference librarian at Livingston University is now the University of West Alabama. And I set up on a date, and the gentleman or the guy had a very nice sports car, if I remember correctly, and he took me to a BP truck stop for our date. Now, I know you're laughing. It is funny. But have you ever been to Livingston, Alabama? There's one traffic light in the whole town. Well, at least there was when I left many years ago. And the biggest restaurant was Hardee's. There was another restaurant, but it wasn't open every day, and it was only open for certain meals. So besides cooking yourself, or Hardee's, or that one restaurant that had in town, you had to drive to the BP truck stop. So it was, but the guy was a jerk, obviously, but the food at the truck stop was pretty decent. It was a full buffet and everything. I've never been to such an elaborate BP, and this may have been where I got this series of books, and they're wonderful books. They're all about Winnie the Pooh. If you see here, there are 6 books in this special collection. And the first one is Winnie the Pooh and Some Bees. And this is by A.I. Miline. And the illustrations are by Ernest Shepard. Now, these people were born in the 1800s, late 1800s. And so this really proves the test of time. Now, this is a very special collection because when I open the book, it says this book belongs to, and has a space for your child's name. And BP is represented here. And the interesting thing about, I kind of like the late Winnie the Pooh generation. I watched Winnie the Pooh on TV, the cartoons. I never owned, well, I may have a Winnie the Pooh now in my collection, but I didn't have one when I was little. I was much more of a Curious George girl, and I carried that Curious George everywhere. So when you read this, you have to understand that this is a British author, British illustrator, British oil company. So if you hate BP because of the oil spill of 210, I can understand that, but this is something that they did right. So when I read the little excerpt, it's going to sound kind of weird because the language is different, the perspective is different, and the people who wrote this lived a long time ago. Here is Edward Bear coming downstairs now. Bump, bump, bump on the back of his head, behind Christopher Robin. It is, as far as he knows, the only way of coming downstairs. And we see Christopher Robin with Edward Bear. But sometimes he feels that there really is another way. If only he could stop bumping for a moment and think of it. And then he feels that perhaps there isn't. Anyhow, here he is at the bottom and ready to be introduced to you, Winnie the Pooh. So we see Winnie the Pooh here. And the story goes on. And you can just tell how stories have changed over the last century. And this is a very elaborate children's story. And once again, this is my special series, Special Collections for Children. It's a small book, great for small hands. So you have to really teach your children how to take care of books so they can last a very long time. I've had this set for a very long time. And we have 6 books in the series, so I just put this one back in. And the others are called, let's see if I can read them. Pooh Goes Visiting, and Pooh and Piglet Nearly Catch a Woozle. Piglet Meets a Hellothump. Igor has a birthday. Kinga and Baby Roo come to the forest. And the last one, the 6th one, is Christopher Robin Gives Pooh a Party. So this is a great series. I had looked on Amazon. They're all there. You can buy this. I've seen them as inexpensive as $8.99 and as expensive as $24.95. So this is a great collection, and this is a great collection to read with your children, especially if they're 4 to 5 years old. They will definitely need help reading this series. And Winnie the Pooh, he's still being sold everywhere. So I recommend that you either buy this series, go to the library. You may not find them in this very special size. And that's my favorite spot for anyone to get a book is the library. But you can also buy your own. And I do encourage that Winnie the Pooh is a great way to spend time reading with your children. And I wouldn't recommend BP as a place for a date, but hey, you never know. Love could be anywhere. Well, happy reading and enjoy your day.